The Strix, Arena Champions. That is the title that you've won. Everywhere Everett and the Ogre twins tested your mettle, and you emerged victorious. But, as you prepared for the king to announce your glorious victory, Dov, who had managed to go unseen amongst the crowd littering the stands, ended the celebration before it even began. He single-handedly destroyed the royal tower overseeing the bouts, forcing it to topple over and into the blood-stained sands. Chaos erupted amidst the crowd, and dust sprang up from the debris, enveloping the battlefield and limiting visibility. When the dust cleared, it revealed a heartbreaking truth. The queen, Lady Alma, had died in the attack, and King Algernon embraced first great grief and then great rage. Utilizing the chaos to his advantage, Dov summoned forth a hulking abomination, a churning, writhing mass of undead and veil power that spat patchwork veil servants from its innards. Blind to reason and fear, King Algernon wielded his blade with deadly purpose, leaping headlong into battle and mowing down the summoned veil minions. You rallied behind him, delivering swift death to the abomination, but not before Izoliar succumbed to the veil power that he had consumed days prior. The veil consumed him, Evasia's will shackled his own, and he erupted with an onslaught of crackling veil bolts that devastated both he and the party. This massive spellcast delivered the final nudge needed for Evasia's chains to finally break. She descended from the sky like a goddess, mauve aura billowing around her pale skin and tattered robes. A feeling of controlled hatred rained down from her, upon every living thing she could see. Everyone could feel it. The desire for senseless slaughter, the inkling for merciless annihilation, channeled through sheer madness that she had managed to conceal deep within her dreadfully beautiful exterior. With Lamazor in uproar from Dov's assault, the group was scattered. Dronin and Sherhansi sprinted through the pandemonium on the streets to chase after him. Hoping to catch him unaware, Dronin loosed an arrow that had enough accuracy to pin a fly to a wall. But Dov, as if hearing it, pierced the air, turned about, held up a hand in defiance, and stopped it dead in its tracks before sending it back to its rightful owner. Dronin was immobilized by the blow, but with Sherhansi's aid, the two continued on their hunt for the warlock and disappeared into the crowds. Meanwhile, in the arena, the rest of the group confronted Evasia as she lowered herself into range. Exhausted and low on both supplies and vigor, Crumb, Izoliar, and Guy braced themselves for the enigma that was before them. Izoliar, ever searching for answers and truths, demanded that she reveal her identity and purpose. He pried with questions that had been eating away at his subconscious. Who are you? Were you a Duskblade? What is the bond that links us together? To which she amusedly answered with an unnaturally wicked smirk. The Duskblade ruins hold the truths you seek. Before sending he and Crumb soaring to opposite ends of the arena. The sky darkened as she prepared to wipe out the members of the group before her, but emerging from atop the rubble of the toppled tower like a rising sun came the Watchman, in pure defiance of her intent. With no words, the Watchman loosed an onslaught of arcane shots from his crossbow that pierced Evasia's aura, but not her flesh. With her sheer menacing will, the bolts were snapped to pieces and discarded, but they had served their purpose. They had given him enough time to launch upwards at the Dark Lady, longsword drawn and crashing down with silent fury. Evasia's delicate yet malevolent hand rose up to meet the blade, and again her aura took the brunt of the attack. Sword and arm quivered for leverage between the two. Slowly, the blade dug downward in defiance, Evasia's magic not able to fully repel the Watchman. But before it could completely break through, she stared intently into the dark beneath the Watchman's helm. She smiled, chuckled beneath her breath, and withdrew, almost instantaneously, disappearing into nothingness. The abruptness of her exit left you with even more questions, largely about the Watchman's origins. Again, Izoliar took charge. Are you a Duskblade? No. Do I know you? No. Did you put me to sleep? No. He answered nothing, helped the king to his feet, and took his leave. You remained in Lamazor until nightfall, trying your best to aid in bringing some comfort to the king who locked himself in his quarters and buried himself in his grief. From behind his doors you could hear crying fits, shouts of rage, the clamoring of items thrown to the floor and walls. Commander Javin gathered you into the castle armory to discuss the next plan of action. He informed you that your allies, Majir and Dar, had been sent on a mission of their own while you fought in the arena. Their goal was to hone in on any possible leads on Dov's whereabouts following his disappearance. Their findings led to the discovery of Dov's base of operations, a secluded place of study on the outskirts of the kingdom grounds, an old arcane library that he had transformed into a makeshift laboratory. Javin asked you to utilize this information and put an end to Dov for the sake of King Algernon and for fear of future attacks. He declared that he'd be joining you, and once the moon reached its apex in the sky, you four, Crumb, Guy, Izoliar, and the commander, left for the laboratory. Drunin and Shorhansi, however, happened upon the laboratory by different means. With their collective tactical stealth and underworld experience, they tracked Dov to his home base over the course of the night. The two now move into the property, but halt as they hear approaching footsteps from the darkness behind them. From the woodlands surrounding them emerge the rest of the party, much to everyone's surprise and relief. But then you realize that Majir and Dar are nowhere to be found, and your guts tell you that they are within the laboratory walls. You gather in the shadows of the courtyard as Commander Javin informs you of the plan. He says, "It goes without saying that Dov deserves death. He has sent Lamazor into a frenzy, tortured your friend, and killed the queen, and what's worse, he has openly sided with the Vaisha and her veil. Someone of that caliber does not deserve to live, but I implore you to use caution here, Strix. If what we've seen from Dov is any indication of what to expect, then rushing in without knowing what we're looking for could end very badly for us. This place has a history. This arcane library was once used as a headquarters for a guild of mages that have since abandoned it to dust, and to haunting remnants of studies gone awry. Warlock practices that align on the darker, unnatural paths scarred the innards of this place. No doubt that Dov has taken advantage of that dark residue and molded it to his own benefit. We don't know what to expect."